Life is tough, but you are tougher. So let's talk about the power of resilience. Now, when we're talking about life and all the challenges that life likes to throw our way, like the list is endless. We could be dealing with the loss of a loved one, losing your job, losing your scholarship, having a child before you feel ready to have a child, trouble with coworkers or your boss. That's a real thing. Or dealing with sickness or injury. Here's what I want to tell you. You're tougher. Who you are is enough to beat life's toughest challenges. And that's if you have a resilient mindset. Like I said, life will throw you so many different things. And I know a challenge for me that I have to really work to be resilient with is growing a business. You have the big challenge of growing a business, then you have the micro challenges that come with it. But growing a business, even deciding to start a business, that was a challenge for me. Whether I was going to start a business or not, first I had to get over the fact that, gosh, there's something inside of me that I know I need to share. Like through all my experiences playing basketball in college, on the USA team and the WNBA and overseas, there are these things, there are emotional and mental lessons inside of me that I've learned, and I realized I need to share this with people. And that was a challenge in itself, because it's like, well, are people going to listen? Are people only going to see me as an athlete? Like, what? So that was a micro challenge that I had to deal with in this whole idea of me growing my business. But then I had to figure out what my message was. Like I said, from high school to college, the USA team, and overseas, like there are all these things that I feel equipped to talk about because of my experiences, but then also because I've done, deeper research when it comes to these specific topics. But honing in on my message and saying, okay, you can't talk about everything. So what is it that you're going to talk about? That was a challenge for me. Then getting that message, challenge, cool. But then making that message better, also a challenge. Knowing who my ideal client was, that was a challenge, because once I identified my ideal client, then it was about, well, are basketball teams or sports teams in general, are they going to see what I'm doing as valuable? So that was that ideal client. But then I had the ideal client with the corporations. Like, are they going to appreciate my sport is life philosophy? Like, and a lot of CEOs, managers, directors, they want their employees to operate like an elite athlete. So you would think that it was just an easy transition. Like, hey, I'm an elite athlete. I'm teaching people how to do that. It was not. So that was a challenge. Both of my ideal clients, trying to see if, trying to make sure that they understood the value that I was bringing and how necessary it was. So getting them to see its value was important, but then getting them to pay. Getting a client, that was a challenge. Getting engagements, that was a challenge. Then getting clients consistently, that was a challenge. And getting engagements consistently, that was a challenge. So then here we are, like I'm doing these things more regularly, and now it's about really getting tight, really getting really tight about what my message is and how I help people with it, and what's the before, what's the after, my A to B, like here's what you can expect. So growing a business in general, growing a business in general, that's the life challenge that I have been dealing with. But I've been resilient. Every single time these situations pop up, I've been resilient. I've been, according to my definition, I've been recovering quickly to a state better than before. See, and with my definition of resilience, recover quickly better, it's not about bouncing back. That's a wasted opportunity. It's about bouncing forward. That's the key. When it comes to life being tough, it's not enough to just be able to take the blows. You got to fight back. You got to be able to say, look, I see what you're doing, and I raise you my success. I raise you my ability to grow. I raise you all of these opportunities that I now have, having gone through this adverse situation that you, life, have decided to put on me. So bouncing forward to recover quickly better is essential to being resilient. And it's like, okay, cool. I get it in theory, but gosh, life is throwing a lot at me. Sure it is, but is this your first adversity? Is it your second adversity? Probably not your third or fourth. I mean, if you've been on this earth for more than 5 years, you have over 100 adverse situations. So here's the thing, you're equipped. Back there it says already enough. You are already enough for each and every challenge that life throws at you. I don't care if it's death. I don't care if it's a loss of a job. I don't care if it's a child coming sooner than you thought. I don't care if it's the child that, and I say this sensitively, even if you lose the child, you have what it takes to be resilient, to bounce forward. But the key is, how do I do it consistently? Because we all have different levels of resilience in us. How do I do it consistently? When life keeps throwing stuff at me left and right and I'm trying to dodge, but I keep getting hit, how do I fight with life's toughness, the tough things that life brings us consistently? That's what this video is about. That is the real question, okay? And here's the thing, mindset is key, but a resilient mindset is keyer. Not sure if keyer is a word, probably not, but keyer just means in comparison to what I said before was key. There's a bigger emphasis on this. Having a resilient mindset is keyer, okay? So what are some things that you need to keep in mind when you're trying to live this resilient lifestyle, have this resilient mindset so you could kick life's tough adversities in its butt? First thing you're gonna do is talk nicely to yourself. That sounds so minor, but the moment something happens, we start to say, dang, like, I know I wasn't even good enough for that. I don't even know why I tried that in the first place. So-and-so could do that better than me. Man, I did it again. All of these things, that's not really going, first, it's not kind. Second, you wouldn't say that to somebody you love. And so if we love ourselves, let's talk nicely to ourselves, because it's not helpful. Think about if your good girlfriend or your homeboy is going through something and you say, oh, yeah, you shouldn't have tried that in the first place. How do you think that's going to make him feel? The same way that it makes you feel, and it gets you stuck. So talk nicely to yourself. And the second thing is, be willing to move forward even if you don't feel like it. Being resilient is not about feeling like it. I promise you. Being resilient is having the will and the perseverance and the mindset to say, it's not about how I feel. I need to go get this better opportunity. I'm trying to recover quickly and better. I'm trying to bounce forward. So be willing to proceed and keep moving on in the process, even if you don't feel like it. And then the next thing is, look for the goodness out there. That's where the better is going to come from, if you're looking for good things to happen when you get out there. And why do I say that? Well, biblically it says, seek and ye shall find. I don't know if it was talking about opportunities after being resilient, but the idea of looking for something and finding it is real. When you put something positive on your radar, you're going to see it. I remember being in a situation where, not a situation, but I was doing this devotional in the month of November. And so it was about being thankful. And I decided that I was going to be thankful I was going to look for reasons to be thankful in all the things that I did. And I kept a journal, and I started seeing a lot of things to be thankful. Like, it sticks out. Just like if you started looking at, I don't know, a Bentley coupe. Now every single Bentley coupe that comes in your path, where you may have missed it before, now because that's something that's on your mind, you're going to see it. If you look for opportunities, you will find that, hey, not only is this opportunity here, but I'm gonna take advantage of it. And then thing number 4, this is really important. You have to feel okay and deserving of the opportunity. It's one thing to find the opportunity. It's another thing to say, you know what, I'm actually going to take this opportunity because I deserve it. We get down on ourselves sometimes and we don't want to take the opportunity. I know that sounds wild. Like, listen, I know it sounds wild, but good things can happen to you after a bad situation happens. That's kind of how successful people do it. They jump from failure to failure to success to failure to success to success. And you think that they're just living a successful life, but they're not. They just never quit. When it came time to be resilient, they said, I'm up for the challenge. And they felt like they deserved the opportunity. And then the last thing that I would say is take note of the ways that you've grown. Being a resilient person and having a growth mindset are they go hand in hand. Peanut butter and jelly. Okay. That's important because just how I started this off before saying, is this your first time dealing with adversity? Like, it's not. And you want to keep a record of all of these ways that you've dealt with adversity and that you've come out stronger and better. That's key. Because if you feel like inside, if you feel like I went through this and I'm still suffering, I went through this and it still sucks, I went through this and I'm no better than I was before. As a matter of fact, I'm worse than I was before. Then yes, you're not going to want to, you're going to shy away from adversity. You're going to shy away from challenges when in reality, you should be like, yo, let's go. Now, trust me, I would love to live the soft life. I would love to live a life where everything went smoothly. But that's just not my life. That's not my reality. So when an adverse situation comes, I'm like, yo, let's go. Because I remember the other times that I got through. So keep track of that. When you look at these challenges that life is throwing at you through the lens of resiliency, you will then be able to see that it's possible. You will then be able to see that you are enough. You will then be able to say, hey, I got this. And then you will be able to use each challenge as a stepping stone to get to the next success, just like most of the successful people that you look up to are. And it's like, well, will it really be success? Based on my definition, it will be success. And for me, success is just setting out to do something and actually doing it. I wanted to do this, I did it, I am successful. Well, when we're approaching the resilience journey, our goal is to be better than before. When you're better than before, because you've been taking notes of all the ways that you've grown in the process, when you're better than before, then you have been successful. So remember, you are already enough for the next adversity. You are already enough for the current adversity. I truly believe that everybody deserves as many opportunities as they want to reach their goals. However many opportunities you want to reach your goals, I truly believe that you deserve it and you should get all those chances. And being resilient, well, that's what's going to give you the chance to try again and be better than before.